LinkedIn has changed how the feed works. So, in today's episode, I want to cover what changed and how you can use it to your advantage. G'day, everyone. It's Michelle J. Raymond with some exciting news on LinkedIn because this one is a massive change. And we got an engineering blog from the LinkedIn team that explains the changes to the home feed. So, in today's episode, I want to go through what are the changes, how they'll impact you, and how you can take advantage of this because actually, after noticing a few weeks ago, I'm starting to really like this change. After I got over my initial, I'm not sure this is for me. And ultimately, the biggest change is this is not about who you know, it's about what you know. You know the old saying, it's not what you know, it's who you know? Well, when it comes to LinkedIn in 2026, actually the reverse is true. It's the other way around. You may or may not have noticed that the LinkedIn home feed is now more grouped by post, by topic, rather than the people that you want to see in your professional network. Now, of course, there could be some crossover there, but at first when this changed, I was a bit like, I don't know, what's the right word? Upset because all of my friends that I've made on LinkedIn over the last 6 years that I enjoy seeing their content, I like to support their posts, they're kind of gone out the window and I couldn't see them unless I proactively went and visited their profile. And that was the first sign to me. And the engineering blog just really explained these changes. And if you think about it, distribution of content before was definitely connection based. So your content went to a percentage of your connections and followers. And we all loved it because that's how good old LinkedIn's been for the last 20 odd years as the professional network. But now what's going on is with this change, think about it like professional interests or topics. LinkedIn is trying to serve you information based around the topics that you like. So it's reading into things on your profile. It's reading into things on the post that you make. It's reading into things, the comments you leave, and all of the posts that you scroll by. Like it is learning about you and connecting the dots to discover what topics it is that you're most interested in. The upside for this means that as someone that creates content, your content will now be seen by people outside of your network and potentially discovered by a bigger audience, definitely interested in what you're talking about. So, huge tick for me on that side. The danger, however, is it works the other way around. So if all of a sudden you're posting stuff that's not aligned to where you're trying to get to on topics that you jump all over the place, then essentially it's going to chop that just as quickly as it's helpful. And so when we're thinking about this, the old haphazard, no strategy, just be busy for busy's sake on LinkedIn isn't really going to help you. The main thing that you need to understand with these changes is the fact that it's looking at your behavior overall. So not any one action. So from one side of things, if you're really active on the platform, LinkedIn will learn quickly what you want to see and your feed will adjust in real time. It is literally amazing. Like if you look at, let's say, topic for me would be podcasting, I might be interested in. Then if I engage with a post about podcasting, within minutes, a lot of my feed will have posts related to that topic. Now, when it comes to my preferred topic, which is LinkedIn marketing, it's been amazing to see how many posts I'm seeing based on the topics that I like. The downside for me right now is that it's showing me a lot of my theoretical competitors' posts, which I'm not going to go and engage in. So there's upsides and downsides to everything. But I think all in all, I'm actually really enjoying this because it's more what I call in my newsletter, the professional story that you want to tell. And we're going to look at this from both sides because I want you to understand what it's like as a user and what it's like for you as a creator. And the same thing applies to company pages. So if you are managing a company page, listen in because this applies just as much to you. First up, let's talk about how this will work for you as a user. And think about it like this. You are absolutely training LinkedIn to show you what you want when you scroll the home feed. And every action you do take, or on the flip side, don't take, is training that feed algorithm in real time. And think about it, this can be really cool. Or if you're a lurker and you don't click on any buttons because you don't want people to understand you're there, then what is going to happen is LinkedIn's going to be doing a lot of guessing. So you are going to miss out on the real advantages of the changes to this home feed. So think about the things when you're scrolling. What types of posts do you ignore? Who do you unfollow? What kinds of posts do you like or comment or repost or save? What are the ones where you slow down and read them every single time you see a particular kind of post? LinkedIn really is going to personalize your experience. So what I see versus what you see is going to be completely different. Now, because I'm really active, I'm loving that it is just serving up more of what I want to see on that day. And some days it's different. Like I have interest in learning about SEO. And as I said, LinkedIn marketing is, of course, one of the hot topics for me to share my knowledge and also consume what I can learn from others, or look for posts that are opportunities for me to add value and potentially discover new business opportunities. And so there's lots of cool stuff if you're intentional. So as a user, as you're scrolling next time on LinkedIn, whether you're on mobile or desktop, think about what actions are you taking, because you're in control. And that is a significant shift to where we've been historically. Let's flip things to the other side now as the person that creates content. And this could be personal content from your profile, or it could be from the company page. The same thing is going to apply. And I think this is the one, if you can figure out how to do this really well, and I'm going to give you some tips on how we do that. But if you do this well, like I can't wait to see how much this new feed algorithm, how it can actually help us reach that content to exactly the right audience that we intended. Now, we've got to be clear. Clarity is absolutely crucial to the success of this working for you. And that clarity starts with the page setup or your profile setup. Is it really clear around what topics you want to be known for, who your target audience is, what makes you different? Do you have unique points of view? And how do you stand out from your competitors? Remembering that the more detail that we can give the system, the more it doesn't have to guess and can connect those dots easier and more accurately. And so this is the winner. We have it all in our control. And so if you're consistent, so clarity first, consistent second, so don't just jump all over the shop and change topics all the time. The more that you stay on related themes, it doesn't mean you can't talk about random things here and there, but just try and stay on track over a couple of different themes that are most likely going to be related. And so from that side of things, I think you probably should have been doing that all along. And this is often where we drift off track. And I've been there and done that myself when I forget about who it is that I'm posting for, what lesson I want them to take. And if you just take one post and think about it when you're actually creating the post, who is the intended audience? So pick one audience. It can't be everything to everyone. One audience, one problem that they have, and one solution that you offer. And if you keep it really simple like that, every time you create something, then you are literally just handing everything over to the feed to say, do your best. This is what I probably see happens too often on company pages where people are trying to cram too much. So maybe you're a global company and your product can be sold anywhere in the world across many different industries. The more generic that the post is, the more that the LinkedIn feed will struggle to connect those dots. So call out the industry, call out the problem, call out who you want. And that could be simply operations managers or heads of IT. Like, make it specific who should be paying attention to this, and then watch the algorithm do its magic. The other thing that I guess you need to keep in mind, especially with company pages, is those random acts of content where one day you post about this and next we're going over this way and then we're going to zig and zag and go all over the shop with no real strategy behind what we're doing. And what that does is kind of confuses the feed algorithm as, it's kind of trying to figure out, where do you want me to send this stuff? So it, remember, is always looking back at your positioning on your page, the content themes that you've been talking about, your employee activity, and engagement signals from your page followers. So it is looking at the big picture and not just any one action. So if you have just been solely focused on post impressions and trying to get up engagement, I actually think the bigger opportunity is, how would you judge your company page as an overall system? And this is what I've been loving working with some clients in their audit and strategies right now, is that it's a real opportunity for pages to stand out. Now that you understand what the changes are, I wanted to share some practical tips around how you can actually take advantage of the changes to the LinkedIn home feed. And the first one that you need to do is get clear on the topics that you want to be known for. What are the themes that you're going to be talking about consistently? So for me personally, I'm talking about LinkedIn company pages and employee advocacy and the power of two. How do we bring those two things together? Are you clear around what topics your page or your personal profile are talking about? Or is it a little bit all over the place depending what floats your boat that morning when you wake up? So topic clarity is the winning strategy. The more specific you can be and less broad, the better. So think about that. The next step that I want you to think about is, how can you align your page and your people? So as a team, as a business, how can you all work together? I've been talking about the power of two for years now. It's that company page presence, the employee advocacy. How do you work them together and support each other? And if the team is aligned on the broad topics, and this doesn't mean that you have to tell your staff exactly what they need to say, but the more that you can bring people in, whether it's commenting on the company page post, whether it's posting around similar topics at different times, then what you're stopping is disconnected messaging. Now, please don't confuse this with me saying that companies must be robots and only post what the company says. Absolutely not. That is not the case at all. But just think about, how can the activity that you're all doing really work together? The next practical way that you can take advantage of the new LinkedIn home feed is actually to be intentional with your engagement. So when you're scrolling the home feed, make sure that you like the things that you enjoy, unfollow things that you don't. And you do that by going to the top right-hand corner of each post. There are three little dots, the ellipsis. Click on that. It opens up a new menu and you can go down and either unfollow the person, and then it actually asks you to remove connection as well, which I've found myself doing more and more, because I'm finding that this is really surfacing new people into my feed. And to be honest, I was like, I don't even know where this person came from, and they're not ever going to be potentially part of my audience or potential business. And so for me, I'm removing those connections. I have different goals now to what I started out when 10 years ago on LinkedIn. And certainly even as a business owner, they're different. So that's why I'm being intentional with what my actions are when I'm on LinkedIn. So liking other people's posts that I enjoy that topic, commenting on topics that I enjoy, support the posts that you really like and unfollow the ones that you don't. And yeah, it's just so cool because honestly, as the engineering blog said, LinkedIn tells us that this will change your feed within minutes. So you get an instant result. So if you go off track, you can always get things back on, which is kind of cool. Most importantly, the best tip that I can give you is to make sure that you are focused on strategy and not on volume. I think what's going on right now on LinkedIn, and I'm a big fan of this, is that they're looking for depth of expertise and not just how active you are or the activity that you're doing or the posting frequency. It's actually looking at you and going, are you an expert on this topic? And who are the people that are looking for that expertise? And if you keep it that simple, volume is not the answer right now. Authority is the answer. So what activities are you taking to build your authority? And that could be as simple as going back and updating your profile or updating your company page and really expanding on that topic and reinforcing your own point of view and not just the AI slop, as all the marketing bros like to say. As we wrap up today's episode, in summary, I actually think that this is a huge opportunity for your listeners. The changes to the LinkedIn home feed really are there to support us. And remember, it rewards your clarity, your consistency, and your expertise. So you don't need to post more. You need to be clearer around what you stand for. When I think about these changes, as much as I miss the posts from those people that I am friends with around the world and I still want to support, the thing that I love so much is this is getting back to strategy. This is getting back to what the essence of building strong brands are, whether it's personal brands or company brands or both of those together on LinkedIn. I'm a big fan of this change, but I'd love to know, how have you found it? Are you still stuck on missing your professional network and those people that you'd like to catch up with? Well, if that's the case, there are still ways that we can do that. And I will be sharing about some of those ways in upcoming episodes. But for now, I want you to go back and have a look and audit what you've been posting about. Have a look at the comments that you've been posting. Are you going in the direction that aligns with your goals? If the answer is yes, high five to you. If the answer is not quite, then you know the actions that you need to take. So remember, it's no longer about who you know, it's about what you're known for. Until next week, cheers.